All right, my name is Hiram Shelton, and this is my video on domestic violence. My first video did not save, and so I'm going to use YouTube this time. So, defining domestic violence, my favorite definition I found is actually from the U.S. Department of Justice, the Office on Violence Against Women. It says domestic violence is a pattern of abusive behavior in any relationship that is used by one partner to gain or maintain power and control over another intimate partner. It continues on and explains that it can be physical, sexual, emotional, economic, psychological, or technological, and it can be also used through intimidation, manipulation, humiliation, isolation, uh, even just frightening, terrorizing, coercing, threatening, or blaming your partner. And also domestic violence can really be any relationship. It can be a father and son, father and daughter, mother and son, mother and husband and wife. And I love this definition because it really goes into all the details rather than just kind of saying it's when a relationship gets physical. And really that is kind of the difficulties of measuring domestic violence, because you never know what the statistics are really using. If they're using just intimate relationships, or if they're also using, like in Utah, you could have roommates be domestic violent perpetrator and victim, because they are cohabitants based on Utah's law. And so the cycle of violence in the textbook really explains that it actually comes from social learning theory. It goes into gangs, gang affiliation, and really it stems from male dominance, male toxic masculinity. Males often feel the need to use physicality as a way to show others that they are right, which doesn't make any sense. If you are correct, using your physicality would not prove that your argument is correct. But males often turn to that to kind of make their point heard and feel that they are superior. And because it is such a male dominant characteristic, females are far more often victims than males. It is more than 1 in every 4 women have or know someone who has struggled with domestic violence as a victim, and whereas more than 1 in 3 men are or know someone. But when it comes to actually being the statistic of as the victim, women are far more the victim. There were 200 in Texas. There were 216 intimate partner homicides, and 179 of the 216 were women. So that kind of shows you that women are far more victimized, and they need a lot more help than men. Although I do want to say men do need help as well. There are men who are victims and not perpetrators at all, and they need to feel safe to tell their stories as well. And the Texas Health and Human Services Commission estimates that there are more than 71,600 victims of domestic violence just in 2019 in Texas. So yeah, those are some statistics. I believe that domestic violence is best reduced by strategies aimed at the victim. And I believe that because I think the victims are far more willing to seek a change. Oftentimes the offenders, they don't like it, but they most of the time do not put in the work and don't want to put in the work to really change. And so I think helping victims see the red flags, see the signs of a violent relationship emerging, is going to help them kind of cut those relationships and stay clear of those relationships. And I think that is just a better strategy, simply because offenders often are not willing or want to change, whereas victims actually will do the work to make that change happen and seek relationships that are healthy. For me, being part of the solution, I think, comes down to social media, going to movements and going to, whether it's like a march in the park or like a day where people go out and actually support those who have been victims. I think just being a supporter is definitely something that everyone, me, myself included, can be a part of. Just from the reading, just understanding, kind of understanding the history of that women were kind of seen as property for a long time, and we're just now starting to understand the very real fact that women in marriages are being hurt and often are victims. And so often, even in religion, it's very marriage is huge, and staying married has been extremely pushed. And I think now we're starting to get to a place in society where we understand that healthy marriage is really what religion needs to be focused on, not just marriage, but actually a healthy marriage, a healthy relationship. And if it's not healthy, there needs to be work. And if a divorce needs to happen, that is more than okay, because people need to be safe and put their safety and their needs first before just marriage. So thanks for listening.